Hello, welcome to Hanging with Howie. Before I introduce our guests here, I want to thank our longtime sponsor, DJ Event Planner. You can find all the information down below, and our other sponsors in blue with the hyperlinks and whatnot like that. And I'm going to go on my screen from left to right and welcome Buddy. Thank you for being here, Buddy. And the one and only Brian S. Red. And we have all the way from swinging Temecula, California, Mr. Jay Brannon.
What's up, everybody?
And of course, we have Matt Beers with us. And hey, guys, we had done a little bit a few weeks ago, and Jay said, we didn't really give that enough time. And the topic was, do you charge more for events or charge less, give them a deal during the middle of the week? They say, hey, we want you for Tuesday or Wednesday because, the venue will be cheaper and so forth. So, Jay, you came up with it. I'll go to you first.
All right. I want to preface this by saying it only started about 5 or 6 years ago because I realized everyone in my market was. And there was starting to be a call for those Thursday weddings, Wednesday weddings. But the first 10 years of my career, my line to couples when they said, we're getting married on this particular date, but it's a Wednesday. Do you charge less? I said, no, and no more than you would get paid less on Wednesday than Friday or Monday. Oh, that makes sense. So I never had any kickback, but I had a DJ 5 or 6 years ago say he uses the Vegas restaurant theory. I was like, what's that mean? He goes, prime time is more expensive than downtime. You have peak season, you have off season. So January, February, March, except for, Valentine's Day and St. Paddy's Day, his prices went down. April through October, his prices went up. Saturdays were more expensive than Sundays and Fridays. And I understand it now, and I guess it does make sense that venues do charge differently. But I wish we didn't have to do it this way. And that's not saying that you do. It's just saying that the overall majority of DJ websites will tell you, this is our fee for weekends. This is our fee for during the week. So, I'm curious what the other people on the panel have to say about it, though.
All right. Who wants to go next? As I recall I remember that one of the things in there was, I forget which one of you it was, but they had, because it rained and they were a little behind, they comped an extra hour for the couple without telling the DJ, hey, you're working an extra hour without compensation. So that
was me. And I told them I told the bride and groom that I'm sorry that you lost an hour, but contractually, and all I said was, if the venue is giving you an hour, I think you should ask the venue to pay for my hour. And I think the bride said, I know, but it's only an hour. I said, it's a business and I don't own the company. It's not my business to do that. I thought it was your business. I'm like, I have a boss and it's their call. And their call is that, we're doing a professional service that we're charging hourly. And they went over to the venue, and luckily the venue was like, yeah, we'll pay that. What is it? Like $300. Here you go.
Yeah, the venue's fault. Yeah.
Well, that's what I said. If I had delayed you for an hour, I certainly would give you back the hour, but I was doing my job within the parameters of the contract and the event. If you came up to me at 11 o'clock and said, we want to extend an hour, like last week extended an hour and a half, they had no issue with paying the fee every 30 minutes. And I think most couples would pay that because they're obviously extending because they're having so much fun.
Right.
But if a venue messes up, and they do, dinner gets screwed up, either figure out a plan to get them dancing early, or expect at some point, if they say the venue is going to comp us an hour of the bar and an hour of the staff, just say, you know what, I would have to charge you. Maybe the venue will pay my fee. This is how much. And they'll go up to the venue. And I think most venues would be understanding of it's a small price to pay to escape getting a 1-star review on their website and dragging everything else down.
Mm-hmm. All right, Matt, you're up.
Yeah, so I haven't had that happen, but generally when I am interviewing with couples too, I try to look at their overall situation. So if they were getting married on a more obscure day, like a Tuesday, Wednesday, or even a Thursday, I would kind of consider that, I think, a bit in my quote. So I guess I would look into that. I would do it without thinking about it. And, this is an off-peak day, but I would think, they are probably trying to save a little money here. And I think I would be a little considerate of that.
Good answer. Buddy, what do you guys do up there in Chicago?
Well,
You shoot them first or what?
no. The thing I think about, I understand the thought behind it, and say, okay, your big seasons from this time to this time, and especially, again, Chicago, just like Brian, just like you out there in Jersey and stuff like that, we get snow, we get cold, we get, January, February, December's kind of miserable. For weather-wise, you can have outdoor stuff, you have indoor stuff, but you still have weddings, you still have stuff going on. Is there a discount for that for a weekday wedding? And I've done plenty of like weekday weddings, Wednesday weddings, Tuesday weddings, Thursday weddings. And no, we didn't have to give them a discount because we're not doing anything different in work-wise. And, it's like, okay, we're doing the same amount of work, the same stuff, the same steps, same everything. My pricing is on my website. So they go to my website, they see the pricing. And, I've had people say, hey, can you give a discount for this, a discount for that? It's like, no, because again, we're just doing the same amount of work. Why would I give a discount? It's one of the things I understand. If a DJ feels, again, a DJ has to do what's best for their business. If they feel the best thing for their business, like Matt says, hey, you know what, a Wednesday night event, I'm going to give you, X amount of dollars off. That is how he wants to run his business. That's entirely up to him. For us, the way I feel is that we're doing all this work. We're jumping through these hoops and we're getting these things done, juggling all these balls. And you go to whatever, analogy you want to use. I feel like that we should not give a discount.
Well, before Brian goes on, I'm going to do a car salesman a little bit here.
Well, tell Johnny can come in too. He's just sitting there.
Where's John?
He's there. John, come in.
John, come on in, John.
Wait, Road Dog?
Road Dog.
Yes, he's here.
Road Dog.
Road Dog.
His camera off. So, John, I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you, Howie, but yeah.
Oh, fine.
John's coming. He just unmuted.
All right.
His camera will be on momentarily.
Dun, dun, dun.
He's probably doing a tear down or something. But I'm just thinking, like, I don't know about that, but I'm just thinking, if I went to the Mercedes-Benz dealership on Wednesday, is it cheaper than going on the weekend?
Sometimes.
No.
Sometimes.
Okay, you're up. You're going to give me a discount?
Hey, man, I was in car sales, and I can tell you that on dead days, you take what you can get.
Look at this place.
You do. You take what you can get. You move a unit. It's important to move units. That's the deal in
Yeah, but the service department won't charge less per hour on Wednesday than on Friday.
No, they won't. The service department won't. But if you want to buy a car,
You're probably there's a comparative point.
So here, speaking of cars, this is interesting. So Clear Channel, remember Clear Channel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The parent company, Clear Channel, used to be like a dealership group. And they looked at they were looking at like time as a unit, like a car. That's how they looked at it. So, they would look at, commercial brakes and all that stuff, just like a unit. And they would sell that unit like they would sell a car, and they would price it as such. Some units are prime, some units aren't. And that's their business model. And that's why they became the big thing they became, because they did it right and they made money doing it. So there's a car tie-in to what we're doing with DJ. Of course, it was all programmed in Waco, Texas, and every market was told exactly what to do. But Clear Channel had a very specific way they wanted to do things, because time was like a unit, like a car, and they would move it accordingly. Peak, sales time, low sales time. Sometimes when you're in the car business, you get somebody coming in on Monday. Yeah, you're going to get a better deal on a car on a Monday than you are a Saturday when the lot's packed, because you don't see that many people on a Saturday. You might save a couple grand if you're a good negotiator. But as far as discounting our businesses, I will talk about club work because I do a lot of that. So I don't discount club work for weekdays. What I have going on right now, it's the same. I do get more for special events, whether it's a weekend or a weekday. I get more on that. But on the mobile side of things, I'm not seeing too many weekday weddings, or, I've seen them in the past, but I'm not seeing them now. Sometimes Sundays, that's a little weird. Sometimes the holiday stuff creeps in where they want to get married on a Thursday, Thanksgiving or something, but because their family in town for that. I'm not discounting for it. I think if somebody were to approach me for a Tuesday wedding, I might, just as long as I'm still making money, as long as I'm not losing money and I can still make money, I might do that. I did a mobile Wednesday gig 2 weeks ago, and I priced it out in a way where I felt like that I could still profit, but I didn't get greedy. It wasn't a wedding. It was for a healthcare center. They did facelifts and stuff. What? Weight loss, liposuction, things of that nature. And they were just doing kind of a customer appreciation party, and there were presentations involved with that as well. So you need a wireless microphone, but it wasn't, I didn't have to plan for anything. I showed up and played music. So there's no planning process involved. And it was actually 2 sessions of 2.5 hours that I had to do back to back. And I billed that out as 2 club gigs. And I made money. In fact, I used the Maui 5 Go for the first time in a mobile gig. That's kind of a lie. I used it for Maine's. I used it for Jeannie's baby shower when she was pregnant with Ziggy. I used the Maui 5 Goes, but it was a small little room and it didn't really count. But I took them as mains for the first time for this event, and they worked just fine. And I made money. And it was during the day. I was home by 7 o'clock. It was noon to 6:30 or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Brian.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
No, I was going to say, Brian, when you're talking about, holiday stuff, I actually have a wedding a day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday.
Right.
And, when we're talking to a couple.
Yeah.
We're talking to a couple. We're like, that's Black Friday and stuff like that. They're like, yeah, we have family in town. So kind of that mentality of, hey, you know what, we're going to have everyone here. You might as well do it, and it's one of the things that, that discount never came up in the conversation, which is good. Because again, I'm not going to give one because it's still the same amount of work. Doesn't matter if it's Black Friday or, Saturday in June.
You might have more traffic.
It's
right.
Yeah.
The roads will be worse because it's a weekday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, let's give the floor to my road dog.
Hey, road dog. I don't even have anything here. I'm at work. I'm on the clock, so I'm.
Road dog.
I got water.
I got water here too.
Yeah, I'll steal the water.
Where you at, John?
We're at the beautiful Lenox Hotel downtown Boston, setting up for a conference that starts bright and early tomorrow morning. So I knew we were going to run past 10, so I wanted to make sure I had a computer here to say hi to you guys. We were listening since the start, and you guys hit on all the hot points as far as it's the same amount of work. It's just another calendar day. It doesn't, our Saturdays and Sundays are precious time, but, it's not like you're going to do less because it's a Wednesday. In fact, getting around might be more complicated because you're dodging morning rush hours and evening rush hours. If dinner starts at 5, no one's going to be on time. In Boston, it takes 2 hours to drive from Boston to Boston. So,
Right.
9 miles to town today would have been 2 hours, and so I ended up just staying in town here. So, but you guys hit on all the right stuff. It's just people want discounts. You try to work something else. Maybe you can offer some type of service to sweeten the deal, so to speak, and using some car service talk like Brian and I know. But otherwise, it's just another calendar day. When we came out of COVID, every day was people trying to book for something because you couldn't get halls, you couldn't get venues. Like, we're going to do this at our house. It's going to be in a yard. And any date was prime real estate where you could book something. It was just crazy busy when we were playing catch up all through 21 and 22. So that's really the long and short of it. Is you guys got it.
In Jay's defense, Howie.
Yeah,
I understand why he's doing what he's doing. I understand because Buddy's kind of in the same boat, but he's not discounting. But if he did, I would get it because Buddy charges a lot of dough. He's a premium service.
Yeah,
Buddy is charging a lot more than I am, which pisses me off. I should charge more but Buddy is like probably $1,000 higher than I am typically. And he gets good dough. Now, Jay, he does very well with what he does in his area as well. So there's profit built into this, is what I'm trying to say. You got profit built in, like a nice profit built into your business. If you're going out and you've got a business plan together where you're making a modest amount of money, it would be difficult to discount. But if you're going out and you're making a premium for your weekend dates, I think it's easier to discount. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Because it's no different than what I do. Like, if they, it's not a wedding, let's say, okay, and it's that my Saturday afternoon in the summer gigs. I'm like, okay, you don't have a playlist? You're leaving it up to me? Those are my favorite. They go, we trust you. Just play what you want. It's an easy $500 for 4 hours. And it's outside. I'm home before 5 o'clock, to eat and whatnot. I mean, I'm not going to turn away $500.
Well, with Jay being in swinging Temecula, I mean, he knows you swing a cat, you hit 17 DJs. So if somebody's got a wedding on a Tuesday, for instance,
they come out.
Yeah, it's like England. It's worse.
Yeah.
Except they all speak Spanish, at their wedding.
They force the race to the bottom.
Yeah.
You have an option. Do you want to make your 1,200, 1,500, 2,000? Or on a Tuesday when you're doing nothing, do you want to pick up $1,000?
Right.
The reality is, yeah. Now, I may not advertise it that way, but that's just the way it has to go. The shocker for me is more the weekend clients, like December. It's holiday time, and I have clients, new clients going, "Oh, I heard great things. Wondering if you're available for this date." And I'm like, I am. Oh, what would be like? I only need you for 2 hours. I'm like, oh, it's a Saturday. I'm sorry, I have a 4-hour minimum on Saturdays in December. Oh, well, you can't do 2 hours. I'm like, I can, but I have to charge you for 4.
Up to 4 hours.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, because if I take your 2-hour gig for $500, it would be that much. That's the problem. I have a 5-hour gig the night before your gig, and that one's paying me $1,250, and it's a holiday party for 80 people. And the night after your gig, I have a 3-hour party, and they're paying me $900. Where does it make sense to do your party for $200? And it sounds like you'd feel more comfortable with $350 or $400. Well, because I've got this great band I want to hire. I'm like, then just have the band play all night. Well, I'd rather have a DJ. I'm like, then pay for a DJ. Like, we always lose value. And I think it's worse now because of music and Spotify and everything else.
Well, all egos aside, with, no matter how good we all say we are, all right, if we're booking on a Saturday, and John knows what I'm talking about here, as far as a unit, that's the prime unit right there. The Saturday is the prime unit. If it was a row of cars, it was 7 cars in a row, Saturday would be the prime unit. Friday be the next nicest one, Sunday be the next nicest one after that. Everything else is kind of like whatever. Those are
Monday's a real fixer upper.
Yeah. Those may need some paint work. So what I was getting at though is that when you're looking at, let's just say Monday through Thursday, all right, you have a much wider selection of talent to choose from. When you're working with Saturdays, it's whatever's there is there. They're all prime. They're all busy. But when we're talking about Tuesday night, we pretty much have our pick of anybody in town. So, if that's the choice, and if that's the way the market's kind of dictating things, then it's going to come down to some kind of price. Of course, you're going to sell your professionalism and all that kind of stuff. But price should factor in on that too, especially if, there's, supply and demand. Plenty of supply, not a lot of demand. So you want to sell a unit or not? So I think that's where Jay's coming from, and I understand where he's coming from. I understand where Buddy's coming from on this too.
Mm-hmm.
I get everybody's argument on this.
Yeah.
I'm just that guy. I'm a moderate.
Yes. I would say you're reasonable. And so am I. I'm reasonable. It's like, look, if you expect me, because I did that picnic, and I did have people come up to me afterwards, can I get your card? And then they call and they want me to do their wedding. And they go, it's around 500 or so, right? Yeah. I'm going, no.
That's a tough thing to get out of sometimes when you're in that circle of contacts like that to get your price back up.
Well, the bummer about it is it's like anything else in the world. You get this much information. You get he's a DJ and he did it for 500. So there's a wedding tax. Because the only difference between this gig and my gig is mine has a wedding on it. So I got taxed and I got penalized because of the wedding. No, lady, you're going to occupy this person's time for weeks on end. And you're going to call and you're going to text. And this DJ has to plan and has to go through all these hoops. And everything got to be perfect. If there's one mistake, you're going to lose your ish. That's why your wedding costs what it costs.
Yeah.
All right. When I do the club, I mean, I make no secrets about it. I start thinking about the club, about the time I have to get cleaned up and get ready to go to the club.
Yeah.
That's what I think about the club. I'm not thinking about the club the night before or the morning before or anything else. Hell, I'm not thinking about the club the next day it happened.
Right.
So that's easy. But a wedding, can you imagine? Oh, yeah, I got a wedding today. I wonder what their names are. Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
I guess I can play anything I want.
I wonder what they want to hear.
Yeah.
I guess
I'm sure they're very nice people. Yeah, I've never met them. I'm sure they're very nice people. Yeah.
Yeah.
She traditional Here Comes the Bride type going down the aisle.
Yeah, we'll find out. That's why. Just so everybody knows. It's not equal. It's like the unit and the lot. It's different.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Hey, we're hitting our mark here very soon. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to add before we put a fork in it?
Yeah, Jay Brand is my hero. Just so you know.
He is. He's my hero too.
And Buddy.
Matt. We love
Not
Buddy.
John.
Matt. Yeah. John. He's
lazy.
just a
busy. Never working.
Road dog. Too busy to have friends.
Road dog to the road dogs.
All right, guys, we're going to put a fork in it. Hey, tune in next week. And if you have a topic you would like us to cover, leave it in the down in the comment sections when this is published. And we'll be happy to accommodate you. Until next week,